want to forget my shout outs.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't forget my kids' names, right?
Oh, I know. That's what I was talking to my wife the other day. I was like, my biggest pet peeve is when somebody's like, well, how old's your kids? It's like immediate brain fart every time.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's start at the bottom.
Right. I asked that of people too, because and then when they pause, I say, it's okay. It's not a test, and I won't tell them. So just get it close. Are they 5 to 10 or 30 to 40? Like
get the age range.
Yeah,
That's the best way to do it. So you're a busy man.
Yes.
What all do you do? I mean, is it all work? A mixed work pleasure?
I would say both. Some of it, sometimes pleasure feels like work, and sometimes the work is, pleasurable in that it creates more space for recreation and the stuff that I love. But yeah, I'm a parent first. I've got 2 boys, Jake and Weston. Jake's going to be a senior starting next week.
Goes fast on it.
Super fast. Super fast. Wes will be a sophomore, and I got surpassed in family size.
Oh, you got some shooting past you.
They are both 6'1". Weston weighed in at 210 at his last doctor's appointment. Jake's 145. Very different personalities, very different look, very different activities. It's awesome. It's really cool to see these boys grow up to be what they're going to be.
Yeah, it's definitely, I don't know, sometimes that growth spurt comes and you just got to do a double take and wonder where time went, because our youngest is 13 and he's going to pass me probably this year already. And let's see, my oldest daughter out in Colorado, same way. She shot up. Seems like in a summer, she travels back and forth. So
yeah,
we'd have her over Christmas and New Year's, and then we wouldn't see her again till spring break. And here she is, like 6 inches taller. It's like,
right.
What's going on?
Yeah, my boys have always. I feel like we saw them gain weight, and then they grew.
Yeah.
So every time I saw clothing sizes get bigger, I thought, oh no, here come the shoe bills. I just bought them shoes the other day to start the school year. Holy cow.
Yeah.
The price of adult shoes for kids is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It gets worse every year.
Yeah. Luckily, they're good with one pair. And wear them out.
Boys typically are.
Yeah.
Boys typically are. Girls need a lot more shoes. Got to go with the outfits.
Right.
Boys are like, I'll just give them black shoes. They'll be all right.
That's what Weston is. He's like, I just want all black.
Yeah.
Cool, bud. Thanks
to.
for keeping it simple.
I tear my shoes up. Work, play, it don't matter. Even if I'm wearing them, you got your nice shoes out on the town, I'll find some way to get something all over.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I can have a nice going out outfit on and then park the car in the garage, and then I start tinkering in the garage in my outfit that I have no business wearing in the garage. When I have plenty of trashy clothes that I can put on and go get dirty and greasy. And
well, good. I'm not alone there.
Yeah, no. That's how a lot of my, I think, decent clothes turn into like, well, I guess I'll mow the yard in this from now on.
Right. So what's your main profession for work, I guess?
So my main profession is a endurance coach.
Okay.
I own and operate Kilowatt Coaching, going on maybe 10 years or so, as a formal business. And
is that all cycling?
It's not all cycling, no. And that's a hard one to just define. People ask me that often. What does that mean? Are you a life coach? Are you this coach or that coach? And even in my coaching conferences, when I'm with my peers, I say, hey, we need a good title that stands alone without the definition, but nobody's come up with anything. So I say endurance coach. I coach cyclists, runners, triathletes. I do some personal training. I've always been a gym guy. And so when I did my physique show in 2017 and put up stuff on social media afterwards, I got a bunch of clients out of that. And that's ebbed and flowed over the years. That one's a tough one for me because I travel quite a bit, and people who want a personal trainer want Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
Right.
6 to 7 a.m., day in, day out, So, and that's a struggle with having my boys every other week. My partner, Allie, lives over in Johnston, Iowa. So when I don't have my kids, I'm over there with her. And so the consistency of being local is a struggle for that.
Right.
But it's great for endurance coaching. I do most of my coaching is online. I interface with my clients through Training Peaks, which is our scheduling suite, and emails, texts, phone calls. I have some local clients. I have some clients that are outside the local area. My local clients, we can meet up occasionally if needed, work on skills or go on a ride. And I've also picked up over the last few years mountain bike skills coaching. So I'm a BICP level 2. Level 3 is the highest, and possibly physically unachievable for me. Those are some tough skills. They sure are, and they take a lot of practice and a lot of dedication to master them. And for me, I don't know that the juices support the squeeze. I don't do a whole lot of skills coaching anymore, but I'm trying to build that up because it's a much shorter relationship with a client. It's 4 hours on a weekend morning or of an evening. Work one-on-one, work in a small group, up to 8 people, and then hopefully they come back or they could turn into endurance coaching client. But if not, that's okay. I always like to just send people off with hey, the door's open. If you want to come back for more training, more coaching, happy to have that conversation. You're welcome back. No pressure. I don't have the time to, and I don't have the desire to sit on a computer and create newsletters and marketing promotional materials. I just don't do a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
I rely on word of mouth. I figure if I've got solid clients and they're talking about me to their friends and I get that friend on, that's probably also going to be a very good client.
Yeah. So what's the difference, I guess, in the disciplines for something that, I mean, you did, I call it Dirty Kansas. It's called Unbound now?
It's called Unbound. Yep. The name changed. I don't know what year it changed, 2018 or 19.
It's 200 miles gravel road.
200 miles of gravel in the Flint Hills of Kansas. Yeah. It's,
So how does something like that, which seems totally unachievable for somebody like me, to have you look at mountain biking as being something totally unachievable for you? What's the big separation there?
I think the separation is, well, you got to put the time to it, right? You have to be internally motivated. That's absolutely foundational. I can tell you what you need, Ross, but unless you feel that inside, it's not going to stick. It's not going to be your value set. It's not going to be your goal. You're going to be doing it for me or for somebody else who wants you to achieve something.
Like quitting anything, quitting drinking, quitting smoking.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not for you. That's
right. Yeah. That's an interesting topic too, because that's come up more in my life in these last few years. I've got a good friend. He's been sober for a very long time. And so we drink NA beers together. And there's actually a lot of really good NA beers out there.
Yeah, you were talking about some beers and whiskeys even.
Yeah, NA spirits. It's a thing. Was it not too long ago?
You ever had one of these?
No.
It's like a nootropic. It's like a nootropic drink. It's got lion's mane and ashwagandha.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Same
yeah, I've added some of that stuff to coffee. Lion's mane and collagen, and there's a lot of different cocktails you can make. Dress your coffee up, or but yeah. So we had a mutual friend who was drinking too much, and I saw it, and I went to him and I said, hey, how do I help? What do I do?
Right.
He says, you can't do anything. That person's got to hit rock bottom. That person's got to make the decision for themselves. And that really sucks, sitting by and watching somebody do that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm newly sober. I don't know, for like the third time.
Congratulations. How sober are you? How many days? What's the count?
I'd say sober-ish probably is a better word. I
Okay.
had a glass of wine 2 weekends ago, or no, it was last weekend. I had a glass of wine with dinner for a birthday celebration at the family, and not my birthday, my dad's birthday, and then my wife's stepdad birthday around the same time. So we just did like a joint dinner. And a glass of wine sounded really good with that steak, so had a glass of wine. Um, Prior to that, probably 2 or 3 weeks, and that was the big eye opener for me because I had been completely sober for a few months. Was on new supplements and detoxing my body and staying hydrated, and I lost like 60 pounds in 3 months. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
But then my wife and I did a little getaway, had a couple of glasses of bourbon, had a glass of wine, and then it took like 2 days to recover. And it was like, okay, this is
Right.
this is definitely not a good idea anymore. Like, I don't know if it's got older or what the case was, but I mean, it definitely impacted me in a way that I hadn't experienced in a long time.
Yeah. I noticed that a few years ago that just a couple drinks kept me from getting a really good night's rest. I'd wake up at 2 in the morning with like a pounding heart and warm, sweaty.
Anxiety.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the exact science behind it, but I feel like my body was just burning off that alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it did, I woke up, but it wasn't good sleep
Right.
when I was getting it. And it's very disruptive. And I'm thankful that my partner, Allie, is very much on the bandwagon with me too.
I'm lucky
She's
to.
only had a couple alcoholic drinks this year. I've only had a couple, although last week I messaged my buddy and neighbor, Biggie. We used to fly B-52s in the E4 together. He lives around the corner and just finished a basement bar. And I said, hey, is it poor form to donate mostly drank bottles of booze? He says, not at all. When are you coming over? So I went over to his house and I said, all right, 7:30 to 9, I'll have a couple drinks. He makes good drinks. 11:15, I saw a clock flash. I said, is it really after 11? He says, oh yeah. I said, I have to go home. And I felt awful the next day,
Yep.
just awful. And the drinks were good, but they're not like I remember them.
Yep.
And that's the other thing. Is so in my head, I feel like I'm missing something until I do it. And I say, I'm not really missing this. And now I've just restarted my clock again. And that feels like I threw a lot of that away. And being on the performance side of athleticism, alcohol squashes your testosterone as a man for multiple days after a drink or two. If you're doing that every day, you're living in a depressed testosterone state, which is our main hormone for our performance and how we show up. So, so many reasons not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier this year, I think the CDC published a research study and put alcohol as a cancer-causing carcinogen. It's a known cancer-causing agent.
Yeah,
and it's prolific.
Yep.
It's and alcohol is. I read this a few months ago too. Alcohol is the only drug that you have to convince people that you're not doing. Right? People keep pushing it on you. Hey Ross, you want a drink? No, I'm not drinking. It's just one. Hey Ross, you want a line of Coke? No.
Right.
Okay. Like,
yeah, no worries.
Like who keeps pushing hard drugs on you? Like, just shoot this up and just once.
Yeah. It's and the looks you get getting a water at the bar.
Yeah.
Everybody's just a lot of judgment.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah. Or go up to the bar and say, hey, give me a seltzer water with a lime on it. Make it look like a drink. And then you can nurse it all night long and people won't push stuff on you. But you still shouldn't have to do that.
I have seen a big movement for mocktails now. Like a lot of places will go eat. They got a whole section of mocktails, which I think is fantastic. I mean, they're not good for you. They're probably nearly as bad as alcohol, full of sugar.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, if it helps you have something to drink socially and nobody's pestering you about it, then
right.
Hey, go for it.
Yeah. It's a double-edged sword, but you should be able to just say, hey, I don't drink. And then
you said something about drinking that kind of hit me about the drinks just weren't the same. Like it wasn't doing the same thing for you. And that's kind of how I felt the last time we were out drinking is out with my wife. And that first one was real nice. It was nice to have that pour a bourbon and hang out and watch sunset, and it was fantastic. But after that, it was just it was another drink. And then the next thing I knew, like I didn't get to enjoy the rise to a buzz. It was just all of a sudden I had a little buzz, and I was like, it's just not the same anymore.
Right. Yeah. Or you wanted I want the flavor, but I don't want the effects of the alcohol.
Right.
And the NA stuff gets close, but it's not ever the same.
Right.
So but I really enjoy some NA beers. There's some good NA beers out there. Guinness Zero, 60 calories, tastes a lot like Guinness.
Really? See, and I like Guinness.
And here's my argument for it is potatoes and onions, steak, eggs over easy, and a Guinness for breakfast. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's NA. So, hey, you're not impaired at all. Just go about your day.
Especially if you're jumping on the bike and going for a ride somewhere.
Yeah, anywhere. Or even, I cracked one and walked down and checked the mail the other day, and I think people were looking at me funny in my neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a can of beverage. It says beer on it, but it's not alcohol.
Right, right. Oh, I get it. No, I think that's definitely my new path. I don't know that I'll probably never drink again, but like that glass of wine still hit me in a different way. 30, 45 minutes after the meal, I was regretting it.
Yeah.
But it was nice to have while I was eating.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and I think I get to the point too where I'm not afraid to not finish something.
Right.
Like, oh, this is not good. It doesn't taste good. Why am I going to finish it?
Mine's the crutch value, I think. I used alcohol as such a social crutch for such a long time that it's hard to be social without it.
Interesting.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're not in
well, there aren't many social functions that don't have alcohol.
Especially here.
Yeah.
Nebraska's probably the most evident place I've been everything's beer, everything.
Yeah. Well, we both served, so that just goes with any sort of
that's part of the
unofficial function in the military. There's going to be alcohol there.
And
it's going to be
in a lot of cases it's part of the hazing program, A
little bit. Yeah.
Like a fraternity or
right.
anything else like that.
Sure.
It's part of your acceptance.
Yeah. If only we had our current confidence 20 or 30 years ago.
Right. Or knowledge. Just the knowledge base of it.
Yeah.
That you ever seen that show or movie The Substance?
No.
With Demi Moore?
I haven't.
It's a hard watch. And it gets a little off the rails towards the end, but the concept of it is your younger you and your older you is the same person, and you don't realize what you're doing to older you when you're young.
No.
Is the concept of the movie.
Okay.
It's fantastic, but gets a little crazy at the end.
Yeah.
But it was a neat way to kind of think about things, because we don't, even I think we do now, probably our age, think a little bit more about how we're going to feel in 20 years versus 20 years ago we weren't thinking about today.
Yeah. Or I think it also takes some sort of event in your life to realize your mortality.
An awakening.
Yeah. I have to stop this because because you do want to live long. My dad's 97 years old.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And so that's my motivation is
I
got to be healthy.
That's a dream.
I'm just halfway there.
Yeah.
If I can live as long as he's living. Yeah. So
and be mobile.
Oh, he's super mobile. He just bought a new truck when we were home in July.
Oh, really?
Yeah. New to him. But yeah.
Still
he drove us all over the country showing us he's got some property in Northwest Indiana, which is where I grew up, and he's leased it out to solar. It's near one of the power plants, so it's a prime real estate for solar generation. So he's got it leased out to solar. He's been a beekeeper as long as I can remember.
Nice.
So he's got some hives out there, and he drove us all over the place. My partner Allie, I've mentioned a bunch of times already. Her and her daughter Dakota came with us, and so we got to show her Indiana where I grew up. And
You get your work ethic, you think, from growing up out there on the farm?
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Just
Yeah.
carried it with you.
Yeah. Allie said, I think the first day we were there, the second day they were there, she said, now I know why you don't really sit down. Like, my dad lives with my sister and brother-in-law and my nieces. They're all in one house together now after my mom passed. And it's on 8 acres or so. And so there's a big garden, there's a big yard, there's some small woods.
Real food.
It all needs maintained, you know.
And all,
yeah. My sister just put a picture on social media the other day that's just a table full of beans. It's like, we have more beans than we can eat. Come get beans if you want beans, neighbors. Yeah. I never leave there without a back seat full of vegetables in the summertime.
That's my hope. I think when I get to that age to be able to sell this house and find permanent roots, property, and grow my own food, and I think it's probably the direction we're going to end up going.
Yeah.
Ideally large enough to, if the kids want to put a house on the property, they could, but
that'd be great.
I think that's just the way to go.
You're not going to have a house big enough to let them move back in?
Oh, no. We've gone through a couple of spells. Our oldest daughter and her girlfriend and our grandson are staying with us currently. They're getting their relaunch, bad decisions, and holy shit, it's expensive. And say, all right, well, let's get you reset, get you back out there. Yeah. And then our oldest just had our granddaughter. When they found out that they were having a baby, they were out in Alabama, and they were like, okay, we're not going to be out here on this island away from any help at all. So they moved back in. So there for a short time, we had everybody and their spouses back in the house.
Oh,
and we
that's
were
awesome.
Like, oh, this is great, but this is terrible at the same time.
Yeah, right.
Too many opinions, too many, routines. Just too much.
Well, probably not enough cooks in the kitchen.
Well,
because maybe you can answer this.
The kitchen actually worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of cycled through there and took turns making meals. So the kitchen side of things worked out pretty good. But routines, everybody's different work schedules. Everybody, it's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Allie's place has one bathroom. So when I'm over there, it's like, you can't wait until you have to go. You got to go before that. Yeah. Because there might be somebody in there you're waiting. Yeah.
We run into that, and we've got 3 bathrooms. So.
Yeah, right. I can imagine with all the people.
Yeah, that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
So, trainer first.
Yeah.
Well, father first.
Yeah.
Trainer.
Landlord. I've got a couple of rental properties here in town.
Nice.
Yeah. I when I moved up here from Louisiana, couldn't sell the house down there and turned into a landlord overnight. That property was managed by, I managed it myself for a couple of years. And then November of 2015, I got hit by a car on my bike.
That's right.
And the place went vacant for about 10 months, and I was in really bad shape. And so we hired a property manager, and it was managed from that point until I sold it a couple years ago.
2015. We'll come back to jobs.
Sure.
Getting hit by a car. You were laid up for quite some time, because when I met you, would have been about 4 or 5 years after that.
It was 2018.
Still kind of in recovery, yeah?
Yes. So I was hit not too far from here, riding from my house out to Swanson Park. I was run over from behind. So my last memory was riding through the green light at Cornhusker and 36th. My next memory was calling my ex-wife on my phone from the ambulance. So I don't know what gap of time I lost there, but I still don't have that memory. I spent 11 days in the med center, lots of injuries, traumatic brain injury, 7 broken ribs, collapsed right lung, compression fracture, and I don't know, T12L1? I can't remember, in my back. And then I had a chipped tooth. I didn't have an eyebrow on one side of my head. I was beat up from head to toe. I just felt awful. It took a long time to get my lung to reinflate, which was why I was in the hospital for so long. And then at home it's called a Jewett brace. So it's a brace that goes around your torso to let that compression fracture heal in my back. But also it was over top of 7 broken ribs. So I was on all sorts of
Good Lord.
pain meds while I was getting better. But yeah, it was, and the TBI is something that I wouldn't wish on anybody. And thankfully I've recovered pretty well, but it's something that I'll always have coping mechanisms to deal with. It really affected my executive function, which is decision making and some memory. But yeah, it was a long road to recovery. And then in that process, I re-injured myself. I've had multiple surgeries since due to that.
Due to more injuries or still?
Yeah, I ruptured a disc in my back that I had to have repaired. I gave myself an umbilical hernia, probably training in the gym, because getting back into the gym with a trainer was very important to me. I knew I needed to put muscle mass back on. I kept hearing the fact that I was, had some muscle on my body was protection from my bones and joints in that injury or in that accident, because I didn't really have any broken bones from that accident that required any sort of repair. I didn't have anything that drove a surgery from that. All those happened afterward.
And it's probably hit and run too.
No.
They stopped?
Yeah, they had to stop because I was underneath the vehicle, according to, and I found that out the hard way. I was working with an attorney, and he hired an accident reconstructionist to put it all together. And I had all the data off my Garmin. So I had second by second data of everything that a bicycle computer will collect.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a friend parse that out in a file, and I sent that to him in an Excel spreadsheet, and they reconstructed the accident. And in one of the emails I got was an attached questionnaire. He wanted me to answer these questions and return it. And one of those questions was, do you recall the EMTs backing the vehicle off of you? And
good Lord.
Yeah. And what a terrible way to find that out, too.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at my computer by myself reading this. I'm like, no recollection of that at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine, I think about my hard times, and trying to crawl yourself out of a hole just seems like such an impossible task when it's happening. And then I think about that situation. You got the recovery from all the injuries, the psychological trauma of being run over, and then you've got all the pain meds to boot. What was that road like? Getting off of the meds and getting moving again?
Yeah. I don't really recall a challenge with the meds from that. The biggest struggle I had with meds was when I ruptured a disc in my back, and I was on opioids and gabapentin, which is I think it was a drug designed for people who suffer from epilepsy, but it also helps with nerve pain. And that was tough. That was really tough, to the point where I felt great the day after back surgery. That surgery relieves the pressure on that nerve, and you feel 100 times better. But I'd already been on those drugs, those pain meds, for a few months. And the counseling I didn't get from any of my medical team was how to step down off of that. So I just tried to stop it cold turkey. I don't hurt. I don't need this. And then I quickly realized that I had a low level dependency to it, and I had to just wean myself off. And I did that through a lot of, internet searching.
Yeah.
I did it through just taking it when I felt like I needed it, and stretching that out. And every day it was less and less. It's an odd symptom in that I felt like frustrated and short tempered and almost like an anxiety feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would take a half of a dose, and 30 minutes later, it would just like chill me out. So it was just stretch those out. I would wait till I felt that way, and then I would take just enough to make that feeling go away. And then the duration or the time between and the frequency decrease, time between increased, frequency decreased. And then before I knew it, I'm like,
Right.
I don't need this.
Then it was easier to just cut it out. And
Well, it was, yeah.
not
Yeah. And I just kind
go
of
through your rough
tapered it
day or
out
two.
on my own. Yeah.
That's nuts. So I'm sure that just getting back into physical shape, that journey probably helped fix a lot of the psychological stuff.
Yeah. I was excited to get back on the bike, believe it or not. I think it's, I think that Ken's personal opinion on that is somebody else took that away from me, and I wasn't ready to be done with it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get back to it as soon as I can, and I'll be done with cycling when I decide I'm done with cycling. So I think that's, kind of the premise. If somebody were to get, hit running or have a fall rock climbing, but I think it's like, okay, I'm going to get back to it.
Avoid that victim mentality.
Right. Like I'll decide when I'm done with this, not
Right.
somebody else. When I had my back surgery, I asked my surgeon if I would ever squat or deadlift again. They said, "Oh, not likely," or run. So I, again, jumped to the internet, running post microdiscectomy or lifting post, and just all these people that can do it. I've learned a lot on the medical side. I have a team. I went from an annual physical with the Air Force to so many contacts of specialists in my phone now, from pain docs to surgeons to PTs to it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And what I've learned in that process over the last 10 years has been interesting, right? Those people that do those jobs, there's people. They're like you and I. They have struggles. They have good days and bad days. They probably stay up too late watching Netflix.
Yeah.
They have too many drinks on occasion. They have kids that
Terrible
act out, or they have terrible diet, or they get no activity, or they are specialists in what they do. But at the end of the day, they're still people, and they still have they have their vices and they have their coping mechanisms. And so I think it comes down to well, they can't promise me I'll be back to running a 6-minute mile, which I don't think I ever did, but or squatting 3 plates, right?
Mm-hmm.
So their line is no, right? Don't count on it. But
it seems like,
because they can't guarantee it, and our society's
Right.
so litigious, right? So like, well, you said I could, and now I can't, so I want to sue you for that.
Yeah.
So people have to just take everything with a grain of salt.
Seems like
Everyone has to do their own research. You have to go in armed to your medical appointments. I've learned that was, I think, the most important thing I could pass on to anyone from that experience is know what's going on with your body, know the treatment methods, go into any of your appointments with an outcome that you want, and don't be afraid to voice that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here for this, and I've read about this treatment or this medication. I want to try it. Get me the referral, write me the script. Let your physicians know that you know what you're doing too.
Right.
I think that goes far.
Well, and they're there to prescribe. They're not really there to.
That's another thing I've learned. Doctors prescribe meds. Surgeons perform surgeries.
Yeah.
Pain doctors do injections. Very few people, or none at all, that I've really run into said, hey, let's look at the whole picture first.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get a full blood panel. Let's do some tests. Then let's figure out how to address this. Let's find the cause, not just treat the symptoms.
Yep. I think there's a new movement in the medical industry that's kind of leaning towards more of that versus Band-Aids.
Yeah.
I think I think COVID opened a lot of doctors' eyes, and it helped. I don't know, spark their curiosity maybe to open their field up or open their expertise up and do some more research of their own. I don't know. You know who Gary Brecka is?
I don't.
He, I'll probably fuck it all up if I try to explain his profession. Human biologist, I think, is his profession, but I could be wrong. He worked with insurance companies, and they could take your biomarkers and they could, based off your biomarkers, predict the day you were going to die. So when they're setting up your life insurance policy, they just make sure that term is just short of that death date to play the odds, you know. And him and his educational background started to realize, you know, we could fix these people if they would just do, you know, some different things with their diet, or they would take some different supplementations or some vitamins. Or so he's got or he started a company that Grant Cardone just purchased, called 10 Times Health. You can get a gene test done through them, and they'd lay out all this different supplementation and what your diet should be like. And we've got the test done on my wife, and it blew my mind. I sent back like 4 binders of information all about her. And one of the crazy things was her diet. I'm not super intelligent when it comes to health and fitness, but I've got a decent, I think, knowledge base when it comes to that, you know. And I've been telling her for years, I was like, well, let's keep your protein levels up. Let's lower your carbohydrates down. Let's, you know, trying to help her out with diet and exercise. This thing basically told me I was retarded. They're like, you only need 46 grams of protein. You need 148 grams of carbohydrates. You need it, like everything backward from what I've been telling her. And she kept trying to tell me, this doesn't make me feel good. This makes me feel worse when we're eating like this.
Their method or your method?
My method.
Okay.
So she's been switching over. She feels fantastic. We've been doing he's got some perfect aminos and some probiotics and stuff that we take. What's the other one? NAD plus. We order through Row Nutrition, and then we order their glutathione, which is you know, it helps detox, pulls like heavy metals and stuff out of your fat storages, and makes it water soluble, so then you can start pissing out all your toxins. It's changed our lives. Like we've got more energy. We feel better, you know, overall.
Awesome.
We feel like we're getting sleep at night. We're not waking up all groggy every day, you know. So it's just weird how all that information's out there, and there's a lot of people that know this stuff and they don't share it. Like he kind of broke the mold, and you know what kind of vitamins causes these autoimmune disorders, and you know he's helped break the mold on creatine, that if you double your creatine that you can prevent and or reverse Alzheimer's. Like it's great for your brain. Like why don't
I feel like creatine's getting another resurgence lately for everybody.
For sure.
From men and women and on all ages. It's not.
Especially women, menopausal women, I guess, is like gold for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird that stuff's been around forever. Nobody's really shared all the data.
Yeah. I don't get the hoarding information mindset.
Yeah.
That was something, you know, you sent me a primer for this, and that's something I put in my notes, and it really made me think that I think that's one of the things that got me into coaching was my last assignment with the B-50. Assignment before last of the B-52 was an instructor at the training squadron that brings in new pilots and navigators and electronic warfare officers and teaches them the B-52. So they come from pilot training or nav training to the B-52 to specialize in that airframe. And I got the privilege of teaching there for a few years, and it was really fun. It, you know, drove me into the books. I had to know what the technical orders said and what the regulations said, and to teach that. And it's very humbling in that, you know, there's people I had as students that are still in and made way more ranked than I did and super big brains. So they challenge you, right? They're like, well, where does it say that? Or why do I have to do that? And it digs you in to get the resource, not just shoot from the hip. And then on the outside active duty life, I was riding a bike and getting into cycling and was commuting to work on my bike and getting on a lunchtime ride or one of the weeknight rides or a weekend ride. And next thing I know, it was my go-to. And people were seeing that and asking me questions about, what should I buy? How should I train? And my military instructor mentality was just like saying, okay, let me look that up. I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And I was diving into, training methods, getting books on training. And then I started going to USA Cycling coaching clinics. And I went to all three of those. And the last one was a really good one in that our case study that we had to work on for that weekend drove us into PubMed.com. And PubMed is a resource of peer-reviewed research, and that's the place to go if you're looking for stuff. What supplements do, what protein does, what ergogenic aids to take, and at what amounts and dosages and frequencies. PubMed.com. Don't do Google searches anymore. Go to the academic journals.
Yeah.
Read the research papers. There's going to be a lot of stuff that you don't understand. I don't understand a lot of it. Jump to the conclusion, right? Read the hypothesis, jump to the conclusion, determine if it, what they're testing actually made any improvements or moved the needle for their test group. And, either try it or throw it out and try something else. This whole influencer, I don't know what we call it, influencer era.
Pretty much.
Non-professionals, but you know what?
Some of it's good,
it's
some of it's
trendy
bad.
and it's faddish. Yeah, some of it does have science behind it. What's unfortunate is the ones that do have science behind it are getting probably drowned out by the more flashy ones.
Or it has
it's just
science,
not going to work.
Or it has science, but it's not being pushed out by the person with the science. It's being pushed out by somebody like me who's, read an article or something and just jumped all over it and went 100% into it.
Yeah. That's really what got me into coaching was this mentality from what I learned in the Air Force with how to be an instructor. And it's okay to not know everything. And I don't, I read a lot out of, on topics that interest me. And what I found out is they're not topics that interest a lot of other people. So let me deduce the talking points. I'll give you the 2 nuggets out of this, 2-hour podcast.
Exactly.
Save you 2 hours. Here's what you need to know. Move on.
You can watch it if you want, but here's the cliff notes.
Right. Yeah.
But you got a basis of knowledge too that helps you digest that information a little bit better than it would, your average person, jumping in blind, not really knowing.
Yeah. And I think probably entering any realm of new knowledge or new area of knowledge that you don't have can be very overwhelming. There's just so much there used to be this, I don't know if it's a fact or how you'd say it. There was a time when they could identify somebody who knew everything there was to know. And that was probably like 200 years ago, right? And now we've been surpassed, and not even people in their area of expertise will probably ever know everything in their area, because everything is getting so specialized, and we have so much data and science behind everything.
Yeah, science is faster than the knowledge almost.
Yeah.
They're finding out more and more.
I think we get overwhelmed with data too. I do as a coach. There's so much data I can collect on an athlete, especially a cyclist. Cycling is data intensive, and it has been for a long time, over and above many other sports. And it's, and you can find these articles and people jump on, oh, I need to do this. I need to watch my HRV. I need to, jump on this trend, this fitness trend right now. And I think if you've got all your foundational bases covered, go for it. If not, just stick to the basics. The basics will get you so far and create great habits, and then someday maybe you can get into that nitty gritty if you want.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of it is also distraction.
Yeah. Well, we're easily distracted, and there's
so easily
so much out there to be distracted by that. Which is where all the misinformation, and that's why the influencers are making all the money. And
yeah. And I meant that reminded me of something I was thinking about earlier. Is that when I started personal training, nobody asked me what my professional certifications were.
No,
nobody.
They were just like, "Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, you look like you know what you're doing."
Wow.
Yeah. Would you go to your doctor? You know what I mean? Just some guy, Bill. Well, I'm going to Bill's office. Bill says he's a doctor. Do you know he's a doctor?
The guy that graduated last in his class at doctor school is still doctor. So
yeah. Well, in the Air Force, we called him Captain. That was our joke,
right? I think ours was
Air Force doctor.
Ours was lieutenant.
Yeah.
I was
sorry for all my Air Force physician friends. Love you guys. I had some really good physicians in the Air Force, and became friends with a lot of them too.
Some of the best care I've received has been through the VA.
Yeah.
The problem with the VA is the time frame it takes to get anything done.
100%.
But the care and the knowledge is, it's on point.
I've been very impressed with the Omaha VA. Although I do have a lot of phone numbers for patient advocates in my phone, because when they drop the ball, I let them know. Because it's not.
It's usually cool. Not the physician, and well, at least not from my experience. It's not really the physician as it is the, whether it's red tape or whatever their procedure is. And if you want a certain test done that's outside of their procedures, then there's not a lot they can do about it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes again, it comes down to you just have to be an advocate for your own care.
Yeah.
There's ways to get around the VA.
And you can get out in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But there aren't many people out there educating vets on the system and how the system works. You just have to learn it yourself, and
through influencers.
There's no way I'm going to trust any vet influencer. Sorry, brothers and sisters who have served, but I'm not going to know if you're telling the truth or you're messing with me, right? That's our dark humor that we carry for the rest of our lives too. I don't know if I can do that. I think you're making shit up.
You said something about hoarding information. I was going to touch on the difference between military and civilian life is, in the military, your job below you, job above you. It's not just your job. You got to know all three. And you get out in the civilian world, and that's not your job. You don't need to know that. And it's like, well, if I'm going to be informed in how this company works, I kind of need to know some of this stuff,
Right.
And I think that's probably trickle down effect from, the elites or whatever you want to call them, upper management or people with bad attitudes and power. I think power dynamics.
Yeah. I feel like there's not leadership isn't something you're born with. I've served with some people who felt that way, and they were not great people to serve under.
Knowledge doesn't make you a leader at all.
No, it doesn't. And I think that's maybe what's missing on the civilian side. I can't say for sure. I didn't spend much time in the civilian sector after the military. The military has a very formal ways to learn leadership and followership and a path for that over a career. And maybe somebody will write in or call in and say, you're wrong. And I'll be fine with that. But, correct me if I'm wrong, but, if you just get promoted to a manager someday, is that because the manager above you left or was let go? Or
the good old boy club.
something, but it doesn't mean you know how to lead people.
Right.
It doesn't mean you're empathetic to their what's going on. And that, I think that just takes a lot of experience and time and
For sure.
and sometimes the right personality.
That's
not everyone can manage and lead.
One of my leadership struggles was just that, was the empathy for others. It was always, mission first, and which works fine in the military, but that doesn't work at all in the civilian world. It's not, nobody's going to die if the mission doesn't get done. So
right.
Why don't you take a deep breath and think about life for a minute?
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. And yeah, your primer questions had me thinking about that too. I'm a goofball. Life's short.
Yeah.
I just got a pedicure before here. I got glittery toenails, and I don't care.
I love it.
Wear the mismatching clothes. Let your hair down. Be goofy, because there's times to be serious.
Yeah.
And when we had to be serious in the military, it was probably life or death. There's not a lot of life or death outside of
those are some
combat.
Of the goofiest years too for most vets. God, I don't know. I mean, we were, at least in my experience, obviously we worked hard, but we played hard at the same time. I mean, military humor is some of the best humor there is. There's no, it's all fuck your feelings. It's all, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's all in good fun. It's, nobody's trying to bash anybody,
Right,
but we're going to talk shit.
Yeah. Yeah. In the military, you get your shit talked to your face.
Yep.
And then, nothing bad behind your back.
Right. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. And you kind of know that you're in the group if they're cutting on you right away.
You can find that in pockets out in the regular world. Construction, a lot of construction sites are same kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Law enforcement, I think, is kind of the same mentality.
I mean, they go, call it, first responders. They go, hats off to them. I couldn't do it.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, they have a special kind of compartmentalization they need to do their job well, and then also function as
well, and their everyday is real world,
as partners and parents when they're done.
Yeah, we trained.
We
trained and deployed, but we weren't. It wasn't day in, day out.
Right, you had a
career,
27-hour C-130 ride to decompress from combat.
Right,
Yeah. Where these guys just they're off shift and they're home in 30 minutes.
Yeah,
that's hard to.
That's rough.
Take it off and be normal. Yeah, especially because who knows what happened to them on that shift.
Mm-hmm.
What they went through and what they saw.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes in my head when I see some of these crazy news stories. The one that really gets me is the rise of dead kids in hot cars. It's gotten. I mean, it's several every summer now, just here in Omaha.
Yeah,
and it's like the first thing that pops in my head is the officer that rolled up on that scene, or the EMT that rolled up on that scene. It's just, God, that's got to haunt you forever.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't have those kind of kids. I knew when they were in the car the whole time.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, there was no denying.
Yeah. Not calling it the kid's fault. It's not victim blaming by any means, but
right.
But yeah, I mean, or just the simple of like, you're overwhelmed or you've got some other stuff distracting you if you forget that there's another human in the car that depends on you.
Yeah, slowing down.
I was leaving the store the other day in my van, and my van being tall, I can look down into cars, and there was a kid in the back seat. The driver was on the phone. We were at a stoplight. This kid, eyes could barely see over the windowsill, and it wasn't in a booster or car seat or anything, but should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And that's super frustrating to me.
Yeah, me too. Or when they're hanging half out the window, waving at cars, or you see a lot of it. I'm in a semi all day, so I literally see everything.
Oh yeah.
The amount of people that are driving around with a plate of food and silverware is shocking.
Really?
A plate of food, eating with silverware, just driving with their knees, eating away. It's like, oh my God, how do you even, I couldn't imagine.
First officer on scene. How did the fork get there? Where did the fork come from?
Where did it come from? I don't see a lunch pail.
Play
It's
stupid
insane.
games, win stupid prizes. That's
It's just
yeah,
insane.
yeah.
I mean, I don't even like seeing the coffee mug versus the, not a travel mug, but a regular everyday coffee cup in the car drives me crazy.
Oh, I can't drive like that.
I can't either. I can't either. It just boggles my mind.
Yep. No, everything has to have a lid. Almost in the house, everything has to have a lid.
Yeah, that's nuts. So we left off at landlord.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
So
sold
that
the property.
sold the property in Louisiana, took that money up here, and I figured I better do something smart with it, or I'll do something dumb with it.
Right.
And so I reconnected with a realtor. He just happened to cold call me at the right time, and he was doing the same thing. He's got a small portfolio of properties. It might not be small anymore. Some Airbnbs, some long term, some short term, and so he knew some ins and outs and picked up a couple properties. And I'm kind of on a pause from that now. One of them's under getting some work done to it, and then just not sure. The interest rates are still crazy.
Yeah.
The market's still kind of nuts. It is
VA,
definitely
yeah. I think you could get 6.2 right now.
That's still terrible.
Luckily, it's better than everybody else is getting.
Yeah. But I really enjoy it. I do what I can. I've done a lot of repair. Do small repairs myself. Done a lot of cleanup. Last summer we had that windstorm in July. Looked like a tornado came through town.
We had a couple of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the properties are looking way better than they were when I got them. And they weren't looking bad when I got them, but they're definitely, I've got good tenants in there. They're great people. I think part of that is relationship building. My due diligence of background checks and investigating what I can from their applications and choose the most qualified and just have frank conversations with people. Like, hey, if things get tight for some reason, let's just talk before it gets bad.
Mm-hmm.
I tell them I don't know how to evict anyone, and I don't want to learn how.
Right.
But if I have to, I will.
Yeah.
But it can all be avoided if we can just have a conversation. And part of getting into landlording was, it's one thing I knew, but also one thing I learned from coming off of that TBI in 2015 is that I'm not qualified to get a new life insurance policy.
No kidding.
Yeah, because people who suffer from traumatic brain injury are at higher risk of suicide. And so any insurance policy has to pay out after 2 years of holding the policy, regardless of the method of death. I have a cousin who was an actuary for USAA for 20 years, and he kind of enlightened me on that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my life insurance policy. My investments, my rentals.
It's all locked up in a trust, I assume.
It's not yet.
Not yet.
I need to get some more structure in place to keep it out of Uncle Sugar's pocket.
That's our next step, is getting a trust set up. And I've been, I'm not very smart when it comes to computers in general, but been trying to research, it's called UIL or UIA maybe. It's like a IRA, or it's like a Roth IRA, but it's a little different.
Okay.
And you can use it basically like a life insurance policy.
Okay.
I'm probably saying it wrong, but if I come across it again, I'll send it to
okay.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny you talk about, investing. I was just listening to some CD laddering videos the other day as I'm cooking in the kitchen, because that's, I think, one of my next things I want to figure out is some certificates of deposit or T-bill laddering versus high yield savings, which is where I have some money right now. That's
Right.
Every time I renew it, it's a lower and lower interest rate.
Yeah.
So they sucker you in with the nice high rates and then slowly dwindle them down. But it's better than nothing. It's good.
Change banks.
I haven't
roll it into another bank.
Yeah. I just don't know how much time I want to spend on it too. That's the other thing is I'm not a sit at the desk screen computer guy all day long. And, I thought years ago I should have, when I was new in the military, I said I should have gotten a minor in finance so that I can at least manage my own money and be smart with my money.
Yeah.
But I can't be somebody who watches the ticker every day.
Yeah, me
Oh
either.
my gosh, no,
On it.
that would feed
Mainly
my
'cause
anxiety big time.
I got such an addictive personality that like my wife will send me a video on something and I'll watch that video and then 15 minutes later I'm still scrolling. It's like, oh, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
right.
What are you doing? It's
My
like
kind of
this is why you don't social media in the first place. And here you are flipping through.
yeah, no, if I'm going to figure something out, I want to figure out how to make everything myself in
Yeah,
my
yeah.
kitchen. That's my thing. I said, oh, okay, ketchup is good, but ketchup is not good for you.
Exactly.
How do I make my own ketchup?
Mm-hmm.
How do I make my own Worcestershire sauce?
That's
How
where
do I make the basics so I don't need to buy the basics?
that's where I'm ready to be myself.
Yeah.
The more you read and hear and listen about the all poisons in the food, and I mean we just talked about tap water. It's like you can't. How are you supposed to be and maintain your health if everything is poison?
Yeah.
Like what do you eat?
Yeah, they put a watering ban on in the Des Moines area earlier this year. I think they just lifted it because the nitrate levels in the water were near the upper limit for the EPA.
It's ridiculous.
And I read an article about they have a nitrate scrubber, some sort of system that's supposed to get the nitrates out of the water, and they run it. They hadn't run it this year, but they talk about how many hundreds of thousands of dollars it takes to run it each year that they've had to run it. And I just thought,
Have you had your water tested after it's gone through your
yeah.
filter system?
So when I have that filter system service, the service tech has a little stick. You can actually get them on Amazon for like $10, and you just literally run the water right over it. It'll give you an immediate reading on parts per million of what's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wonder if it goes into like does it remove the fluoride and does it get rid of the hormones that have been pissed out and recycled?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't feel like I'm getting any extra hormones from my water.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm sure it's so minute that I mean you never know somebody
Yeah.
like you that I'm sure you drink an ungodly amount of water as active as you are.
Should drink a lot more, that's for sure. But yeah,
I'm maybe a gallon, maybe.
gallon a
But
day.
I'm not.
That's
but I'm
good.
not. I'm not super active yet.
That's okay.
My big thing was getting myself clean.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do too much. I didn't want to get overwhelmed doing too much at one time.
Good.
So I got the weight loss handled. I got the alcohol handled. I got rid of weed. The only thing I've got left now is the nicotine, and that's kind of this month's mission is getting rid of nicotine.
Nice.
But I'm going to combine that. We're going to start getting back into the good gym routine and try to get back to where I was when we first met.
Yeah.
And I just there's a lot to that. There's a lot to that being active and endurance specifically. I don't know that I get the same benefits out of strength training as I got out of endurance as far as mental health went. I
agree with that.
I think the endurance stuff leap and bounds beyond strength training. I'm not sure what all it does. I mean, there's endorphin release or whatever it all is, but
I like the quiet time. I like the solitude. I'll
that's my whole life, solitude.
Is it?
So
Yeah.
I'm alone in the truck. I'll do my job all by myself. Very little human contact, and then my wife works way later in the day than I do, so I'll come home to an empty house, sit around the house all by myself. So like I need shit to do. It's my
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, go volunteer at the VA.
I thought about it.
I signed up for that because I want to make some change up there, and then I got, ironically, did you know that when there was a government hiring freeze, the VA couldn't even sign up new volunteers?
Really?
Yeah. They
How
said,
does that work?
I don't know, but since I was part of the government roles, even as a volunteer, they couldn't take me on until the president lifted the hiring freeze.
Wow.
By the time my name, by the time they called me,
Your schedule changed.
yeah, my schedule changed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I think I was, they didn't really have a path for, I wanted to be on an advisory board. I want to make a difference. I just, no offense to the vets that are there in their red vests and help, at the information counter. That's not me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sit there. I got
too
much to do to go anywhere and sit around.
I could get into some sort of activities, vet activities or something like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to get myself into a more mentally stable, mentally positive state. Like what I call my journey right now kind of extends from the name of the podcast is my mind body connection is almost non-existent, and I'm trying to get that back. And what I mean by that is if you ask me what's wrong with me today or how do you feel today, I don't fucking know. I don't know. I would, I'll try a new medication for something, and did it help? I don't know. I took it every day. And then, did you have any side effects? I don't know. And then they'll list out some side effects, and I'm like, I do kind of remember half that stuff. I don't, trying to get myself back connected to myself so I know what's wrong with my body. I could start feeling, aches and pains. And I feel them in the morning when I get out of bed. Well, not so much now with lifestyle change, but,
Good.
The walk to the bathroom was like death row in the first thing in the morning. And by the time I come downstairs to make my coffee, then I've already forgot about all the aches and pains, and now I'm on mission, So I'm trying to get all of that, and I think we're close. I'm a lot more calm now. I'm not on any of the meds for depression and anxiety and all that stuff. I've got weaned off of all of that. Quitting alcohol was the big bump, I think, when it come to all of that, because it just snowballed it. You get stuck on a thought, and then you just spiral on it all day. That's the big thing that was torturing me. Yeah, a lot better place now.
Good.
Moving forward, got a new project to play with.
Yeah, this is a great space.
I still have absolutely no idea what I'm doing, and computers are my biggest trigger. Like, I have a hard time answering emails. Just getting on the computer just drives me crazy.
Yeah. My work as a coach is on the computer, and I need it. It's where my software lives, and that's where all the data lives. It does all the big data crunching for me. But I'm kind of the same way. I'm like, get on this thing, do what I need to do, and close the lid and walk away. I'd rather do.
I call it my baby monk exercises.
Yeah.
It's the little necessity. You can't flex your baby monk until you've done all your little exercises,
Right.
Read the comments and do the social medias and edit and,
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's just kind of keeping up with stuff. The school loves to send emails.
Oh my goodness. Constantly.
Keeping up with, and then you have teachers that are sending messages, and then you've got the school app you have to interact with. It is crazy to the point where, last year I got a email from a teacher that said something about your student Spanish class, blah, blah, blah. And I replied, which student? I have two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you use the
name,
the message board that says, dear, parent/guardian of kid name, right? It gets automatically put in the email. Help us out, folks.
Yeah.
We're parents. We're trying to do all the things. We're trying to launch these kids into adulthood with, the tools we didn't have at their age, so that they'll be more successful. So
you struggle with the school at all? Like whether or not your kids should be going there?
Well, they definitely need to be going somewhere every day.
Not to shit on teachers.
Yeah, no. It's not the teachers that I think we're bagging on. It's the structure, right? I definitely very appreciative of the educators that my kids have had.
Yeah.
They have been instrumental in feeding those curiosities and fostering that knowledge or that thirst for knowledge. So I do appreciate that. My youngest is struggles with school, and that he's really smart. He does well in school when he applies himself, which is most of the time because I make him.
Yep.
But he says he hates it, and he's hated it since about 5th grade. And I think part of it was we bought a house when I was married. We bought the house for the house. We didn't buy the house for the school system. Maybe should have done a little bit more homework on that. But I'm a product of public education. I don't know if you are. I don't think where you go.
Mine's a little different, but
I don't think where you go for 3rd grade is going to make or break your life.
Right.
That's the other thing. I said, well, is it the best? No. Do they have problems in the best schools? Yes. Do they have drug problems in private schools? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Every school has
in some cases.
problems. So
I think the part I struggle with schools is you got 2 working parents. It's pretty hard to survive now with, a stay-at-home parent to, I don't know, interact more with your kids, teach them more worldly things, because none of that's covered. I mean, they do less and less of the worldly things, it seems like, every year, like spending time on banking, balancing a checkbook, paying bills. They don't really learn any of that there. And our lifestyles nowadays, it gets lost in the wash at home,
Yeah. And I saw something, watched a video not too long ago, but it was that, the younger generations have a different relationship with money than we did.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got money, like we got paper money. We got paychecks, and you went to the bank and you cashed the paycheck and you got money counted out in your hand and you took it. Now nobody sees money. It's a number on a screen on your computer or on your phone, and it's money comes in. Ross, I was told not to hit the microphone. For everyone listening, that was Ross, not Ken. Ross.
I don't know what happened there.
I don't know. I got all excited. But yeah, you see numbers grow, August 1st, my bank checking account big number, right? Got paid. Now I get to see it like dwindle throughout the month, and then it goes away. I have some cash in my wallet. I always have a $20 bill in my pocket when I ride my bike.
Yeah.
In the event that I need to pay somebody to give me a ride home in the back of their pickup truck.
Right.
Or I go to a gas station that doesn't take credit, which it's rare, but they're out there.
Roadside farmers market.
Yeah. Or I need to throw that bill into my tire to fix a flat. That's an old school $1 bill trick. But other than that, I don't really interact with cash a whole lot anymore. I was doing a lot when I was doing personal training. Don't tell the IRS. Or buy and sell stuff off Marketplace. But now I think people are using Venmo for just about that.
Mostly,
because right there at the that was me. Right in the interaction, you can send it from your phone to their phone, and they're like, "Hey, I got paid."
Boom, boom.
Cool.
It's all done.
Shake your hands, part your ways.
Yeah.
There's no driving around with cash. There's no going to the bank and getting. Yeah, it's nice, but I think it changes the relationship of
100%.
And I think that's where people are
lose the value of it, I think.
Well, or they're just saying all I need is enough to make this number not be zero or negative.
Yeah.
And so they're making their money, they're paying their bills, trying to save what they can, and spending their time on experiences, not spending their money on things.
So where'd we leave off?
Oh gosh.
Landlording. Covered landlording.
Yeah. You said have my shout outs ready, so I got a shout out
do some shout outs
to
sure.
Dave and Jamie and Dave at the Bikeway. I've been part-time in there for a couple of years. They trust me enough to open and close sometimes.
Where are they at?
They're at 15115 Industrial Drive in Omaha, Nebraska. Yeah.
So I think I've been in there.
You got to come back. We got a whole new line of bikes. Santa Cruz has been a stable for a very long time, as well as Giant. We got Kona bikes back. We picked up Jameis bikes. Might be leaving out a brand. Got rad power bikes for the e-bike crowd,
Right.
and we had some Reed kids bikes for a while because it was hard to get kids bikes in 24-inch. We can pick up time, look, covers the board from pointy fast bikes to gnarly mountain bikes, downhill bikes, or e-bikes. It's fun. It's a fun group of people. Everyone there rides, which is a blessing and a curse because Jamie gets to make the schedule. And he asked me, "Hey, you want to work for me in August?" "Sorry, I'm going to be in Cuyuna mountain biking." And he replies, "I think you're making up words now." No, it's a real place.
Yeah.
We got a guy, Mac. He just graduated from Millard West. He can throw backflips on his mountain bike.
Nice.
Awesome. Yep. Kieran is a downhill dude. Claire just graduated and is going off to college. She rages on cross country. She's fast. She's smart. She nearly aced the ACT. Took it twice to try to get that free bike from her mom. That was a deal. I think her mom really helped her out though. So, and then Jacob is our newest service manager. Young guy, moved up from Kansas. Is trying to get into, I think, a PhD program at UNL. And he's more of a roadie gravel guy. We might talk him into the dark side.
Yeah.
I almost forgot John. John's kind of like me, just this old dude picking up extra hours for cash and bike parts.
Serves passion at the same time.
Yeah, and some adult supervision.
Yeah,
keep the place running right. Every once in a while, you got to deal with somebody who's not very happy.
I don't know that you're going to ever avoid that anywhere, honestly.
Probably not. And again, that military mentality of mine kicks in and like, oh yeah, life or death, huh? Your bike is a couple days late. Sorry it's late. Let me explain why. Let's maybe back down the heat a little bit because it's just a bicycle. I try to keep things light in there. We make good coffee.
The bike.
We always have good music going.
I'm gonna have to plan my next. I want to get actually. I've never been fitted for a bike.
Oh yeah, we have a bike fitter. Carly Thompson does our bike fits for us. She's a physical therapist,
nice,
and a cyclist. She's a great person. Yeah.
She's
been riding bikes a long time.
I'm gonna do that before I put in any more long miles because those numb feet and hands for days is.
Maybe you should stop riding in basketball shorts and street shoes.
No. Well. Street shoes I think I did better in the running shoes than I did with the clips, but I wasn't fitted for that bike either. So
yeah,
it's hard to say. But yeah, I'll get it figured out. I'll come in there.
Yeah, I'll get you set up with Carly and you come in and get that done. Could we do a podcast while your bike's 100%, being fit?
Yeah.
We have a podcast studio just on the other wall of the fit room.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah. So I think that kind of sums up my jobs.
What's your other shout outs?
Oh, I got a shout out to the 5-pack. Allie Young has been a newest, most awesome person in my life about a year ago. And her daughter, Dakota, who's 9, she'll be 10 soon. And so I'm kind of halftime in here in Johnston, Iowa to see them. And we spend as much time together as we can.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And she did a mountain bike race with me Saturday before last in Wausau, Wisconsin, 6-hour solo. She kicked some butt. And the day before was, maybe if you have her on, she can explain it, but I won't tell you how it didn't go great. It didn't go well. But the next day it was different. And so I think she's got the bug back. And that was kind of a test run for Dakota 5.0, which we have at the end of August. So that's a 50-mile mountain bike race in Spearfish, South Dakota.
Oh,
It'll be my, I think, 5th time and her first. So she'll be in town tomorrow morning.
That's probably some brutal elevation, huh?
I think it's 6,500 feet of climbing over 50 miles. And we start at 4,000 feet. If you have listeners in Colorado, they're probably laughing at that. We're at 1,100 feet here in Omaha, and 4,000 feet makes a difference.
Oh, huge.
1,100 to 4,000, and then it goes up from there. So I think we go up to 6,000, 6,500 during the event.
Out here from Colorado.
Yeah, you were in the Springs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved riding down there.
Yeah, our house was 7,000 feet.
Okay. Yeah.
And I only know that because we had to install de-icer in all of the eaves because that's your code out there. You had to have
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Once you cross 7,000 feet.
Okay.
I was like, well, okay.
Yeah, so those Allie and Dakota, Jake and Wes, my boys, trying to keep together. I don't know. I get super emotional. My clients. I can't forget about my clients.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got some great clients. I always have. And I think that's because I don't just try to get as many clients as possible. It's all word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I keep a small roster. I keep it personal. It's just my style. I'm not going to get rich doing it.
Going to serve them better that way.
Absolutely.
Anyway. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think they get a lot more than what they pay for. I hope they do. But yeah, no, they've taught me so much on patience and humility, and they trust me with their training, and they're trying to perform at their highest level. So, yeah, that's humbling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you get to be friends with them too. So there's it goes from
benefits.
A professional relationship.
Yeah.
Then you get to know somebody, and you get to know what triggers them, or I can tell when they're not having good times and when they're having strong training blocks. And so yeah, it's taught me a lot. And everyone's got their stuff. We talked about this earlier about would we trade our problems? Probably not.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I'm learning to celebrate is my issues and my downfalls, and that's the only way you really learn, you know?
Yeah, you absolutely. Well, we're military guys, so we got to screw up to learn from it.
Right. Yeah. Step up.
I'm not doing that again. That hurt. Yeah. We shouldn't have done that with the airplane guys. Yeah. Okay. Let's not do that again. And don't tell anybody either.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate your time, man.
Thanks, Ross.
This was
great.
a blast.
Yeah.
You're a hard guy to track down.
Well,
most interesting people are.
The summers are crazy. School year is more stable for sure.
Yeah.
And the other part of it too is being in this situation of retired military and being my own boss, making my own schedule. It's, I see my peers get these GS jobs or contractor gigs after the military, and they're making tons of money.
Right.
And good for them. I'm happy for them. And I just got to remember that if that was me, I wouldn't be raising my kids right now. I wouldn't get as much time around them as possible as I do.
You wouldn't be on the bike as much.
I wouldn't be on the bike as much. I wouldn't have, I wouldn't be able to build this relationship with Allie because she is very much single parent and has a very demanding job. So, me being able to travel over there is, what really is helping keep things together. And she gets over here when she can, and which is fun. And, it's, I don't know, it's a crazy life, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm not a homebody. Sometimes I do need my breaks. I was on the road for most of July, and it's kind of nice to be home for a little bit.
Yeah, you did it. You were gone for a couple weeks.
Yeah, my niece is
back and gone again.
Yeah, my niece's birthdays are 13 days apart.
Oh, wow.
And it's really hard to catch them both in the summertime because they're in the summer. And I don't like to go out to Colorado. I need to get out of the humidity.
Yeah.
I can't take it. But we took 2 weeks and went there. And then I was home for 72 hours and then back to Johnston, where we did 3 days of bike packing to Ragbri and came back. And then we went up to Wisconsin to race mountain bikes. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. And then I came home and it's, mow the jungle and do all the things I haven't done because I really haven't been home in July at all.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Playing catch
that's
up
awesome,
right now.
I mean, that's how you live your life and make your memories. And
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do it now. A couple of years, the kids will be gone. And, right now I'm targeting Iowa. So, build that up and
Yeah.
see what happens over there.
Well, we'll put some shout outs in the show notes. People
Yeah.
can find the Bikeway and
For sure. Yeah. And if you're interested in endurance coaching, check out Kilowatt Coaching on Instagram, kilowatt_coaching.
perfect.
I have a domain, kilowattcoaching.com, and all you'll see is a splash page for coming soon. Again, it's one of those things
Same reason I don't have a website yet.
Yeah. one more thing to pay for, one more thing to maintain. I guess I'm
yeah.
already paying for it, but again, one more thing to maintain.
And then you got to take time to put the design up and
Everything,
yeah.
yeah, and check on it every once in a while and
It's all
make sure all the links
Chinese
are
for me.
working. Yeah, so I'm a small operation. It's just me. I want to build relationships with my clients and teach them what I know to help them be their own coach or be the best athlete they can be.
Right.
That's it at the end of the day. It's a great business model if I have them on roster for multiple years. But I've got a local friend client that he was on my roster for a short period, and then he says, "I got this figured out," and now he's self-coaching and he's still riding at a very high level.
Yeah.
He just knows what he needs
Yep.
to maintain that level, and he does it, and he gets to manage it on his own, balance his own time.
Yeah.
He doesn't need the accountability of a coach, and a lot of people do.
They needed a
need
coach
some
for his
accountability.
foundation. And
Right. Yeah.
once he got that, then he's good. Just
Yeah.
like building a house. You might be able to build the house, but you might want to hire somebody to do the concrete.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Or I'm a big visual learner. Just show me how to do it a couple times and I'm on my own.
Yep, 100%.
But I can't really read. I can't read it and know how to do it. But if I do it with my hands, it sticks. Way better.
Sometimes it's harder to put it on a schedule. Sometimes it's easier. Like I'm in the mood to train now, so I'm just going to train now.
Yeah. Or your day gets moved around, and you've been patient with me, and I appreciate that because again, that's part of it. Is that okay? Ross is in Bellevue. I'm supposed to ride in Bellevue in the afternoon. How about before or after the ride? Save myself a trip because as much as I love cars, I just don't want to spend my time driving around.
More time away.
Yeah.
I knew
you drive for a living. So.
I knew we'd make it work eventually.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not alone. I mean, there's some of you guys are out here. You're so busy, makes me feel like a lazy piece of shit because it's like I'm ready whenever. I don't. Call me tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate it.
But there's a few guys I'm still trying to schedule in. Everybody's living busy lives, man.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Yeah, and I don't know if busy's good. I think busy got trendy a few years ago, but I don't think busy is a bragging point.
I think it's depending on what the busy is. Like, I mean, your busy is pretty well catered to your passions. So,
yeah.
I mean, do you call that busy? You're just not available as most people, I guess would be a better way to.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that is just part of, I'd rather be out doing something.
Yeah, for sure.
But I also like this, don't get me wrong. And
we'll
I was going to make time for this. I'd be happy to. Yeah.
Yeah. This is fun. We'll get you and your partner in here at the same time.
Get my wife she was asking me. I told her about that primer you sent me. I told her I was making my notes at my pedicure, so I'm sitting there and getting my legs massaged, and I'm taking notes. And she's like, "What is your purpose?" I said, "I don't know, but we'll find out."
What'd you come up with? Well, not necessarily your purpose. I guess I should probably word that
that's
better.
Okay. No, I mean that's your why. I've heard that along. What's your why?
Yeah,
right.
I'm on a mission of finding something outside of my family that feeds my soul. So, conversation's one of them. I really enjoy having conversations, and half the reason for the podcast is it's a great reason to sit down and have a conversation with somebody.
Sure.
So, I guess in a way that's one of the things that feeds my soul, but I'm still searching. And purpose outside of family is the one that haunts me. Yeah. I'm still looking for that purpose outside of just being a husband and a father. What else is my purpose?
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I was at the shop the other day working on my bike, and a couple came in who had rented bikes and needed a repair, and it broke on them while they were out for riding. So I think they walked into the shop. Jacob fixed the bike, and they didn't want to ride back to where they were staying, or they didn't have time. And I was getting frustrated with what I was doing, and I said, "Yep, I'm at a good stopping point. I'll just button this up. You need a ride." I took them home, and I had a conversation with them, and the woman was asking about my background, and told them about my undergraduate degree and time in the military and post-military. And she says, "What are you doing now?" Told her about my endurance coaching and parenting. And, she was like, "Oh, all that." I don't know if she said it's such a waste, but it was similar to that. Like I've got these skills and abilities that I'm not using. And, and I do.
Thank you.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing to say to somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like older people lose their filters.
True.
My mom, she passed a few years ago, but she wasn't afraid to tell people what was on her mind at all. So I don't know if it's that but I get it, those are internal struggles I have. I wrapped up the military with some very special skills and top secret military clearance that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars if a civilian company wants to get an employee a clearance. I had that, right? I tried to get those jobs, and
I let mine go,
and they just weren't there, and and I let them go. Or the engineering thing, I tried doing that for a little bit. I can't sit at a desk and stare at screens for 10 hours a day, which was the expectation. That's not me. I'm more of a people person. I need to interact with people. And also, I don't really like having a boss either. I like being my own boss. I like setting my own schedule. And lots of places you apply after the military, they just want to start you entry level. You don't understand what I bring to the table, that it's way above entry level. The rules are the rules, and you either play or you don't. I didn't need to, so I didn't. But yeah, purpose is a tough one. Purpose, everyone's always, not everyone, but it's a common theme to say, get involved with something bigger than yourself. My dad being 97, he's got his beekeeping, he's got his garden. So I think that's why he wakes up every day. He's like, I have things to do today. I don't have time to die.
It kind of sounds like he's found all his.
Yeah. Or he just built his life up so busy that, that's what he does. He hasn't been a world traveler. He's not really into recreation. It's just work. My dad works. But I think he enjoys his life, and he does what he wants to do. He retired in 1986 when I was 10 years old. Nobody wanted to hang out at my house after school when I was a kid because both my parents were there. What fun is that? What trouble can we get into with your parents?
Do you have a basement at least?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah, no. So, it was just different. It was a different childhood. We didn't really do the amusement park stuff. We didn't really camp because, my dad was 50 when my sister was born.
Right.
So you don't really see many, 65-year-olds out camping with their 15-year-old kids. So we did different stuff, and that's okay. But it's just, it was different than my peers. And retiring early, I'm also in a spot where my peers are still working, and I've got my whole day free. I don't really do group rides in the evenings because I don't have to. I can drop my kids off at school and ride my bike all day if I want. I did that in the spring, getting ready for Unbound. Dropped the kids off at school, rode 100 miles, picked them up from school. That was my day.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. It was darn near perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So,
well, that's your purpose then, man.
Yeah. And, and when you talked about that, and my notes are, I say making the impossible with finger quotes, possible. I'll put up stuff on social media after I do an event. I've been terrible about it this year. But then people say, oh my gosh, you did that? And I think, well, yeah, but, to them, that's impossible.
Right.
To me, it was just what I do.
And it was nothing compared to what it took to get there.
Right. And it's nothing compared to some of the people that I put on pedestals or I look up to, right?
Right.
That are
Yeah.
doing, 500-mile races or 3,000-mile races. So it's all
That
perspective.
150 did me in. I got no need to do that 150 again.
Travel Worlds. Yeah, I've done twice. That's good enough for me.
Second one killed me more than the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's some, I think you go into the second one maybe a little bit complacent because you've done it before.
Well, what killed me on the second one was I tangled up with a couple other bikers right at the, before we even crossed the start line and went down on my knee.
Oh.
So then the whole 150 miles, it was like somebody was stabbing me in the kneecap.
Yeah,
I called 50 miles left. I called my wife. I was like, "How close to Lincoln are you? You think you could just pick me up?" She's like, "You can't quit." She goes, "You'll hate yourself if you give up." I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right. I'll keep going."
Yeah, but I think we got to do hard stuff like that to know what you can do.
Yeah, it was an emotional breakdown both times.
Yeah,
big emotional breakdown just crossing that line.
Yeah,
it was a ton of fun.
Those are long days. That wasn't a ton of fun. Now you're a liar.
In hindsight, it was a ton of fun.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
It's a life experience,
Yeah.
That ogre where we met.
Yeah.
That was a brutal little one. That last 10 miles was.
Oh yeah, just north of Plattsmouth.
Short little steep hill.
Yeah.
Back
by design.
Back to back.
By design. That was awful.
Killed me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to bring that one back, but I'm not much of a event. I like doing them. I like coaching. I've dabbled enough in the industry to know that what my strengths are and what doesn't feed my soul.
Yeah.
Event promotion doesn't do it. But so I do appreciate those that do that year in, year out. It's a lot of thankless work. That's for sure.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap it up, buddy.
All right. Yeah, I know. I keep talking, don't I?
This was a blast. We'll play.
Well, you said I was getting paid by the minute. So. No, this was great, Ross. Thanks for having me. I think this is the most one-on-one time we've ever spent. So
yeah, for sure.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah, thanks.